I got a response to one of my Notion iOS videos about rhythm slashes. And actually, this is a feature I don't really use that much, even though I create lead sheets. It's kind of strange that I don't use this feature, though. But anyway, in the manual, it would be under the... here. So, number 19 and number 10 on the right side of this palette. So 10 is a stemless rhythm slash, and 19 is a rhythm slash with stem. And I've gone through this manual. I've read it a couple of times, but I haven't really looked for much information on this particular feature. So it seems, I could be wrong. I probably should look through this a little bit more, but it doesn't seem to be a well-documented feature. Maybe in the desktop version of Notion it is more so. That's actually one of the kind of the cool things about Notion, is that there's a lot of little features that aren't really documented that well. A lot of workarounds for things, and that's one reason why I really like Notion. I think it's a great supplement to, if you're a Finale user or a Sibelius user, it's a great supplement to have, especially if you have an iPad, and I have an iPad Pro. So Notion iOS probably gets as much usage in my workflow as any app does. It's extremely fast for note entry on the iPad. So, okay, but we're talking about rhythm slashes. Is it possible to do? So, yes, you saw the video at the beginning. However, the interesting thing is there's more than one way to do this. So you would, I guess the question would be, well, how do you go about entering these? Well, let me show you something first. I'm going to select everything, go to the note menu, and right now show as rhythm slash is checked. I'm going to uncheck that. And look what I have. I have notes. So the way I had this entered, and the way you heard it performed, for the A, I entered A. For the D7, I entered a D. For the G major 7, noticed I entered my own voicings. That's going to become interesting in just a second. And then for the rest of the piece, I just entered a C, a C4, middle C, and it played the right chord. But the question is, with this entry, what I have now, the way it's entered right now, if I go back to switching it to shows rhythm slash, how's it going to perform this? All right, so this is the interesting part. So let's check it out. Let's just watch each chord go by. Okay, so look how it's playing that chord. It's playing it in root position. You could consider it in Dan Hurley speak. The left hand is playing the root, the A, and the right hand is playing 3, 5, 7. We have an A being played, a C, E, a G, and an A. All right, that makes an A minor 7. So basically, it's an A minor 7 root position. All right, so that's what Notion knows to do. All right, so when we go to the D7, guess what happens? Same thing. You get a D7 in root position. However, when it gets to the G major 7, it plays my voicing. Notice that the first note here is a D, then F sharp, then a G, then a B. And then notice when it got to this rhythm here, let me replay that. The voicing changed. So on this next line, I played all C notes, and let's see what happens. So we have a C in root position, an F sharp in root position, a B7 flat 9 in root position, and an E minor 7, or E minor in root position. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's where this is really cool. So I'm going to take this out of, let's call it rhythm slash mode, I suppose. And if I wanted to play a chord voicing of my choosing, I'm going to do that here. So I want to affect this first quarter note in this first bar. So I'm going to this notes menu and I'm selecting a quarter note. And by the way, over here to the right, see those two? Those are the voices. One kind of big difference between Notion iOS and Notion for the desktop is Notion iOS only allows currently 2 voices per staff, where the desktop version, you can do 4 voices, except if it's a drum part. If it's a drum part, you can do 4 voices. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so I have it in right. And if you look at the left of the screen, I've got it in right mode and I've got this chord selected. So here's what I can do. I can select my own voicing, and that's what I'm going to do. So instead of playing a root position, which would be this, there's an A minor 7 in root. I'll play that. So left hand is playing octaves, the right hand is playing a 7, 9, 3, 5 voicing. All right, so I'm going to go to the next step, and I'm just going to enter that. Okay. So let's see what that sounds like. Has the voicing changed at all? Let's find out. Yeah, it did. It's playing the voicing that I entered. All right, so that is a nice feature, right? So you can have Notion just interpret it as all root position voicings, or you can choose any inversion you want, two-handed, whatever. You can make any kind of voicing you want. Call it an A minor 7, and it'll just play back whatever you tell it to play back. That's great. That's a great feature. It'll even do something like this. So if I go back into this and get out of this mode, let's say I want these last two. Instead of this voicing, let's say I do want it to, I'm going to play an A minor 9 in first inversion. So the left hand is playing A in octaves, the right hand is playing a 3, 5, 7, 9. And I'll do that for this voicing too. Okay. And let's see if it'll play that back. And it did. That's great. So you can switch voicings in the middle of a measure with the same chord. Okay. So that's one way of approaching it. If I were to start from scratch, there's 2 ways of doing this. Let's take a look just for a second. I'm going to select all and unselect show as rhythm slash. Let me go to this C major 7. Another way to do this is a slightly more direct way. So I'm going to go into legato mode, or single melodic mode, not harmonic mode. So that means I'm just choosing one voice. Can't be a chord. All right, so, and I'm going to click on this menu right here, and this is the note head shape menu. Notice on the top row there are a bunch of percussion related note heads. All right, and then you've got tremolos, and you've got beams, and you've got cross staff. But these last two on the right, the one on the bottom row and on the top row, the one on the top row is a rhythm slash without a stem, and the one on the bottom row, which I'm about to select right now, is a rhythm slash with a stem. All right, so I've selected that. I've got a quarter note there, and I'm just going to re-enter the note, and it automatically puts it in as a note. Now, what if I played a different note? What if I played, just to make this obvious, I'll play a B. Just make sure I got the right rhythm. Okay, I'm going to play a B. So in other words, what I'm attempting to tell it to do, and actually I don't know if this is going to work, we're about to find out, is I'm attempting to tell Notion iOS to play back a right-hand voicing that is that uses a 7, so a third inversion voicing in the right hand. So in other words, if I was in chord mode, it would be a 7, 9, 3, 5. Okay, something like that. So, all right. All right, so what did that come out looking like? Let's take a look. So I'm going to go to the Notes menu, uncheck Show as Rhythm Slash. Okay, so that's what it gave me, but what is it actually going to sound like? So let me select all, and I'm going to put everything in Show as Rhythm Slash. I'll start here, and let's see what Notion decided to do. So here it's playing root position, and there, let's see, I didn't catch that time actually. Ah, okay, it didn't change anything. Yeah, okay. So in that case, the chord, which I've just selected there, the chord name overrides any note that I put in there. So I think you could basically create a measure where you put any note. Like, for instance, we'll go to this E minor here at the end. And, well, actually, I can bypass going to that menu. I can just go here, and what I did is I selected the third from the right at the top, which is a normal note head. So if I enter a note here, and I wanted a whole note value, let's, okay, let's see. Okay, so it showed up as an E, but let me change that, okay? What if I'm just going to put in a random note here. Now I'll just put in a B flat. Okay, that note has nothing to do with this chord necessarily, so let's see how it plays back. All right, here we go. It didn't play the B flat. It played an E minor, so it ignored my input. So again, if I want to customize this, go to the Notes menu. I uncheck Show as Rhythm Slash. It shows the note that I entered. All right, so let me back up to that point. I'll erase that. I'm going to go into chord mode, or harmonic mode, whatever you want to call it. Make sure I've got a whole note, and I can pick whatever voicing I want. All right, so left hand playing octaves in E's, very low, and since the B7 came from root position, because I believe that's I just entered that as a, yeah, I had Notion interpret it for me. I will flip the inversion. So I'll start with a 7, 9, 3, 5. So it's E minor 9, but okay, whatever. Go back to Show as Rhythm Slash, and let's see if it plays what I asked it to play. And indeed it did. Okay, so that's how this works. Hope all that made sense. I'll go over one more measure just to cover this. So I'll tell you what, I will erase this measure. Let me clear that. Okay. All right, so first I'll go and enter a chord. So I'm going to choose A and then minor 7 and enter. All right, and I'm just going to tap out of that by tapping anywhere other than this menu. So just in the the white space area of the paper, I suppose, the screen. Okay, so I need to enter a rhythm, right? So I'll just put in what I had before, which was, and I'll go back to, yeah. So right now I'm going to go back to melodic mode. And you can enter any note at this point, but I'm going to enter an A. Okay. And then I had 2 eighth notes, then a quarter, and then 2 eighth notes. I select the measure. If I double tap on that, it selects the measure and it brings this menu up. I can go to More, I go to Notes, Show as Rhythm Slash. And there's some ways to affect this also. You can do stem up, stem down, default stem direction, hide stems. Do it again. Yeah, so it hits stems on anything less than a quarter note or less. So anything less than an eighth note, which has beams. So that's really not that useful, I don't think. So let me unhide stem. I can also, I don't know, this is probably important to some people. I can show as Q, and that makes it invisible and does not affect playback. It's just a printing feature. And also, for same thing there. I'll unselect Q. Notice the note head size change. Okay, so let me unselect that again. And same thing here, no playback. Okay, now I'll get playback. So I didn't really compose that to sound great, just to demonstrate. So anyway, I hope that helps. Explain how to enter rhythm slashes in Notional iOS. It's actually really flexible and it's really fast. I was using just, my finger tapping on the screen here on my iPad Pro, but if I had a keyboard attached to it, a MIDI keyboard, this would be very fast entry. I could knock out a lead sheet in no time, really in near real time. It would go really fast. So, okay, I hope that helps. If you have any further questions, hit me up. Maybe I'll demonstrate this in Notion for desktop as well. But the question was directed for Notion iOS, so that's why I answered it here. I use this program every day, so I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of all the features. This one I didn't, so I learned something here on this one. But if you guys have any more questions, please ask away. I love making videos about this stuff. So, yeah, take care. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.